guys, welcome back to another episode. So do you notice anything a tiny bit different? Well, let's say hello to one of our new members of our Bible readings and maybe writings. This is Zeke. I told you guys last time that I was gonna try to get my bird in here. Well, both of my birds, but only Zeke allowed me to. It took a little while, but I finally got him in, and Cake did not want to be out in it at all. So, and don't worry, this is not his cage. This is what I call a traveling cage, a short-term cage. It's they have a much bigger cage than this. All right, so Zeke is the boy, and so yeah, meet Zeke. Zeke, want to say anything? No. Yeah, he's very skittish. So I'm actually just gonna water him. So this is kind of like a meet the bird one episode. Okay, Zeke. All right, there we go. And then the last thing we're gonna do to meet Zeke is, and not Cake, is maybe get him a little more comfortable, and then we'll get to the Bible reading. So how do we win over him? Maybe millet? That's what I brought. Natural spray millet. I'll just give him a little piece. And then hopefully, hold on. Hopefully he'll want it. Come on, Zeke. Don't want to open up too much because how do we do this? Let's just go like that. That sounds like a good idea. There. Don't hurry. See, this is. There you go. You might have to reach it a little, but I don't know if you can see that, but the millet's right there. And hopefully he'll want it. And let's just push this forward. There. All right. So I might change the millet a little, but okay, I might change the millet a little, but first we'll get right to the video. We just want to take a couple of minutes to introduce Zeke. It's okay, Zeke. How about you get off there? That's not comfortable. Okay, and so let me zoom in quickly. Okay, that's not helpful. There. I wish we could get him a little more, Maybe, okay, no. Okay, that's about how you're gonna see him. Okay, you'll see him move a little. All right. Now we have to get to our reading. Okay, you can. Let's just get this out. Okay, there we go. All right. Sorry if you can't see it that well. That should be better. All right. So let's get started with Isaiah. Hope you guys have had a good week, and yeah. Let's just get to Isaiah. Don't worry, he'll move. He's just a little scared. Still Isaiah 20, I think. Full of Babylon. 20. In the year that the generals sent by Sargon, king of Assyria, fought against Ashdod and captured it, the Lord gave a warning through Isaiah the son of Amoz. Go and take off the sackcloth from your waist to remove the sandals from your feet. This he did, walking naked and barefoot. Then the Lord said, just as my servant Isaiah has gone naked and barefoot for 3 years as a sign and a potent against Egypt and Ethiopia, so shall the king of Assyria lead away captives from Egypt. So exiles from Ethiopia, young and old, naked and barefoot, with buttocks uncovered, the shame of Egypt. They will be dismayed and ashamed because of Ethiopia, their hope, because of Egypt, their both. The inhabitants of this coastland shall say on that day, look at our hope. We have fled here for help and deliverance from the king of Assyria. Where can we flee now? Oracle on the wastelands by the sea. Like whirlwinds sweeping in waves through the Negeb, there comes from the desert, from the fearful land, a cruel sight revealed to me. The traitor betrays, the despoiler spoils. Go up, Elam, besiege, O Midian. I'll put an end to all groaning. Therefore my loins are filled with anguish. Pangs have seized me like those of a woman in labor. I am bewildered to hear, too dismayed to look. My mind reels. Shuddering assails me. My yearning for twilight has turned into dread. They set the table, spread out the rugs. They eat, they drink. Rise up, O princes, oil the shield. For thus says my Lord to me, go, station a watchman. Tell him what he sees. Let him tell what he sees. If he sees a chariot, a pair of horses, someone riding on an ass, someone riding a camel, then let him pay heed, very close heed. Then the watchman cried, on the watchtower, O my Lord, I stand constantly by day, and I stay at my post through all the watches of the night. Here he comes now, a single chariot, a pair of horses. He calls out and says, fallen, fallen is Babylon. All the images of her gods are smashed to the ground. O my people who have been thrust, beaten on the floor. What I've heard from the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, I've announced to you. So okay, Zeke. Oracle on Edom. They called to me from Seir, watchman, how much longer the night? Watchman, how much longer the night? The watchman replies, morning has come, and again night. If you ask, come back again. Oracle on Arabia. In the thicket and the nomad country spend the night. O carcasses of deadens, meet the thirsty, bring them water, you who dwell in the land of Timah. Greet the fugitives with bread. They flee from the sword, from the whetted sword, from the taut bow, from the fury of battle. For a time, thus says the Lord to me, in another year, like those of a hireling, all the glory of Kedar shall come to an end. Few of Kedar's stalwart archers shall remain. For the Lord, the God of Israel, has spoken. Oracle of the Valley of Vision. What is the matter with you now that you have gone up, all of you, to the housetops, O city full of noise and chaos, O wanton town? Your slain are not slain with the sword, nor killed in battle. All your leaders fled away together, fled afar off. All who were in you were captured together, captured without the use of a bow. This I say, turn away from me. Let me weep bitterly. Do not try to comfort me, for the ruin of the daughter of my people. It is a day of panic, rout, and confusion. From the Lord, the God of hosts, in the valley of vision. Walls crash, they cry for help to the mountains. Elam takes up the quivers, Aram mounts the horses, and Ker covers the shields. Your choice valleys are filled with chariots, horses are posted at the gates, and shelter over Judah is removed. And this is a long one. I think we're gonna stop. That was just. I guess we'll read to here. On that day you looked to the weapons in the house of the forest. You saw the breaches in the city of David were many. You collected the water of the lower pool. You numbered the houses of Jerusalem, tearing some down to strengthen the wall. You made a revisor between the two wells for the water of the old pool. But you did not look to the city's maker, nor did you consider him who built it long ago. On that day the Lord of hosts called on you to weep and mourn, to shave your head and put on sackcloth. But look, you feast and celebrate, you slaughter oxen and butcher sheep. You eat meat and drink wine. Eat and drink, for tomorrow we die. This reaches the ears of the Lord of hosts. You shall not be pardoned this wickedness till you die, says the Lord of hosts. We're going to stop right here, even though that's not done a chapter. All right, thank you. And we're going to go on to the gospel, and then we're going to take another look at Zeke and try to help him comfort Dan. As you can see, he's pretty scared. This is his first time kind of out, so yeah. Now when the Pharisees with some of the scribes had come from Jerusalem gathered around him, they observed that some of his disciples ate their meals with unclean, that is, unwashed hands. For the Pharisees and, in fact, all the Jews do not eat without carefully washing their hands, keeping the tradition of the elders. And on coming from the marketplace, they do not eat without purifying themselves. And there are many other things that they have traditionally observed, the purification of cups and jugs and kettles and beds. So the Pharisees and scribes questioned him. Why did your disciples not follow the tradition of the elders, but instead eat a meal with unclean hands? He responded, Well did Isaiah prophesy about you hypocrites, as it is written, The people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. In vain do they worship me, teaching as doctrines human precepts. You disregard God's commandments, but cling to human tradition. He went on to say, How well you set aside the commandment of God in order to uphold your tradition. For Moses said, Honor your father and mother, and whoever curses his father or mother will die. Yet you say, if a person says to father or mother, Any support you might have had from me is korban, meaning dedicated to God, you will allow him to do nothing more for his father or mother. You nullify the word of God in favor of your tradition that you have handed on, and you do many other things. He summoned the crowd again and said to them, Hear me, all of you, and understand. Nothing that enters one from the outside can defile a person, but the thing that comes from within are what defile. When he got home away from the crowd, his disciples questioned him about this parable. He said to them, Are even you likewise without understanding? Do you not realize that everything that goes into a person from the outside cannot defile? Scent enters through the heart. Scent enters not the heart, but the stomach, and passes into the latrine. Thus he declared our foods clean. But what comes out of a person, that is what defiles. From within people, from their hearts, come evil thoughts, unchastity, theft, murder, adultery, greed, malice, deceit, lasciviousness, envy, blasphemy, arrogance, folly. All these evils come from within, and they defile. From that place he went off to the district of Tyre. He entered a house and wanted no one to know about it, but he could not escape notice. Soon a woman whose daughter had an unclean spirit heard about him. She came and fell at his feet. The woman was a Greek, a Sycophant by birth, and begged him to drive the demon out of her daughter. He said to her, Let the children be fed first, for it is not right to take the food of children and throw it to dogs. She replied and said to him, Lord, even the dogs understand the table. Even the dogs under the table eat the children's scraps. Then he said to her, For saying this, you may go. The demon has gone out of your daughter. When the woman went home, she found the child laying in bed and the demon gone. Again he left the district of Tyre and went by way of Sidon to the Sea of Galilee, into the district of the Decapolis, and people brought to him a deaf man who had a speech impediment and begged him to lay his hand on him. He took him off by himself, away from the crowd. He put his finger to the man's ears and spitting touched his tongue. Then he looked up in heaven and groaned and said to him, Ephphatha, that is, be opened. And immediately the man's ears were opened. His speech impediment was removed. He spoke plainly. He ordered them not to tell anyone. But the more he ordered them not to, the more they proclaimed it. They were exceedingly astonished and they said, He has done all things well. He makes the deaf hear and the mute speak. All right. And that was just about Jesus answering some questions, like tests, and really jumping through them, and just healings and miracles. All right, and that's the end for today's Bible reading. But now we get to talk a little, look at Zeke a little more, and some other things. The first thing I'm going to say is for my Bible writing today, I'm not going to continue with Isaiah. Well, I might be, but I kind of want to do something a little different. So let's look at the books quickly. Poor Zeke. He's really not used to this. Okay, let's first check off wisdom. If you like a red Sirach, hold on 1 second. Sirach 6:18. I'm not sure if I read Sirach. I don't know. Not Numbers. Book of Judges. Kings. Ezra. How long is Ezra? Not long. Nehemiah. I'm gonna do Tobit, I think, in memory of my cat Tobit, and because I like Tobit. Alright. So we can close our Bible, and so the next thing I'm gonna be doing is Tobit. And I had a really sweet cat named Tobit, and so he died, and so I really like the name Tobit because he literally was the perfect cat. I know everyone, as perfect as they can get. I know everyone says, oh, their cat's perfect, but Tobit never scratched me. He's just the sweetest, but he did have a rare disease, which probably made him really sweet, but still, he was just the sweetest little thing. I had such a great time with him. So yeah, I like the name Tobit. And so yeah, alright. And now, before our focus point overview, let's look at Zeke. I know you might not be able to see him so well. Oh, hold on. Hello. Let's see. I'm stuck. Oh, there we go. Okay. I know you might not be able to see him that well because of the bars, but hi Zeke. Let's just. I'm just gonna give him real quick, and then we'll be able to go on to the focus point overview. Hi Zeke. Zeke. Oh, Zeke. Zeke, Zeke. Zeke, Zeke. Zeke. Oh, baby boy. You know, I don't like seeing you hanging on those. I'd rather you be on your perches. Oh, poor. Oh, it's frozen again. Hold on. Sorry about this. Okay, there we go. I think he's just kind of scared. This is his first day out of my room, so other than when we got him. And so, I just kind of want him to be... Oh, there we go. Let's hope he touches his millet. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting to watch him. Oh, if only he didn't step Oh, he's back to the hanging position. Hey, boy. Okay. Hi. Hi, Zeke. Okay, you just want me to leave you alone. Okay, so he just made himself clear. Maybe in my Bible writing you'll be able to see him in action. Alright, so focus point overview. We might run a little late. Okay. So, like I said, I don't have a lot to talk about. I really should probably write some things down beforehand, but I don't. Well, okay. Let's talk about being responsible. So, again, this could be dedicated to kids and also grown-ups. It's anyway, but it's also I might be talking a little about how kids can do it, So, let's do responsibility and procrastinating. So, you might be saying, oh, how does this tie into how is this Christian? I mean, it's good behavior. Well, we're responsible. Our responsibility is to serve God, and I feel to do and spread His word. One of how which I'm spreading His word is by doing this video. So, in daily life, we have many responsibilities. For grown-ups, it's going to work, providing for your family, and for kids, it's listening to your parents and doing what you need to know would make you feel good, like having your room clean. Have you ever noticed if you don't have your room clean, you kind of doesn't feel good, especially if you're showing company to it. It's like, here's my room. This is what my parents have given me as my room. And then there's also the spiritual responsibility of keeping your mind clean from impurities, from bad thoughts, from bad words, from anything, bad pictures. Your mind is very dangerous, so you have a responsibility. Sure, you're going to mess up, but to keep your mind clean. And then you have the responsibility also in a way spiritually, but Christianity, to keep God's word and follow His commandments and spread His word. At least that's what I feel. I do know this is right. This is the one thing I say I think I'm pretty right on. That we all have responsibilities. And a lot of times we procrastinate those responsibilities. A lot of times, if I'm tired, I feel like I don't want to do my room. And that's procrastinating. If I decide to do my game first, we play a game called Wordle. And I'm going to be like, oh, I'm going to go play Wordle first. And then, oh, I'm going to go eat a poached egg. But I have to make the poached egg. That's already taking like 20 minutes. And then your room never gets clean. So we have to humans have to work on not procrastinating and having good responsibilities. Having good, having good focus points. Because if their focus points was to do not okay stuff, then that's not the best focus point. It's not a good focus point if it's not okay. If their focus point was to always do parties, well, that's not bad. There's a responsibility that goes with doing fun stuff. If you want to spend your money on something, you would have to, responsibly use it. You can't use up all your money on that one thing. Or you might want to, but you have to just be responsible with your stuff. Where that comes in as a Christian, as you have to be responsible with the stuff God gave you. In Genesis it says, and He appointed us stewards over the land and the animals, or something like that. Well, that's saying we're the steward. For example, I'm going to use Zeke as an example. If I'm not a good parent, if I'm not a good owner to him, then I'm not being a good steward. And my parents, through God, gave me that. God created Zeke. And my parents gave him to me or got me him. So if I don't take care of him, I'm not being a responsible owner. And that would mean I'm not responsible to own him. I know it takes a little while for us to get, responsible, and I'm definitely not the perfect owner because I believe that any cage could be cleaner, and maybe doing, food, water, like guess maybe getting them special stuff for them. I guess I actually got them grip, but you can always be, I believe, a better parent. Oh, he's getting into his millet. So how does this tie into Christianity again? Well, it ties in that what God gave us, we're not supposed to trash. And that is a responsibility we have, no matter how young we are, no matter how old we are. And it can start, by, well, maybe not littering. No matter how young you are, maybe you shouldn't litter. There's just a bunch of stuff you can do to be responsible. And responsible not only gives you a good name, people will listen to you more. There's a reason why you're supposed to have, having yourself look presentable. People are more inclined to listen to you if you don't look like you don't keep good care of yourself. As for me, we'll also go into this a little. I don't feel like I'm supposed to put on a ton of makeup, any makeup really. I don't feel that I have to do anything really fancy with my hair. It's one thing if it's having fun, but I try not to get stressed out. It's one thing to brush your hair. It's one thing to put on a ton of makeup. Personally, I do not feel it's important to put on makeup because I feel that people look their inner beauty is so pretty that they don't need makeup. I feel it covers them up. That when you take off the makeup, your shelf shines through. I don't judge anyone who has makeup, but just for me, and I feel that there's too much emphasis on beauty. And so, going to beauty school, well, maybe it's nice to have someone to be able to cut your hair. There's just too much emphasis on beauty. As for me, if you're growing up, personally, I would say beauty school is not necessary if you're interested in it, but do whatever you want. But I feel that people look good without makeup. I just feel that it's fine. I feel it's fine to once, like in a blue moon, maybe if you were getting married, to put on blush. It's whatever. But so yeah. And then the one other thing I'm gonna cover today is quickly clothing. Let me hold on, just hold on. Okay, we're at 20 minutes. Is just quickly, I'm gonna go into clothing. Clothing for me, and this will mostly be for women, since I'm a woman. I'm really going into women. That I guess feels very good to be modest. And I feel that this world has said what is modest, which back in days gone by, would have been appalling. A lot of people might say, oh no, it's fine, it's modest today. That's gonna be, in a century, it's gonna be another level of, oh, it's modest. It's just, so for me, the style I like is not a low collar and to your ankle, below your knees, or an ankle dress. It's different when you're running. Most of the time, I always try to wear it down to my ankles, I feel, unless I'm running, which is maybe below my knees or halfway up to my knees. I just feel that God wants me to be modest, and I feel that's how everyone is supposed to be modest, and in God's eyes, not the world's eyes. But that's for a different day and a different time. But thank you so much for joining, and I'm so glad you could see Zeke there. Hi. So yeah, like the big thing is to try to be responsible with your actions and not procrastinate what you know you have to do. And at least for me, and maybe if you want to take it into consideration, don't try to go crazy on makeup. Maybe even try not to wear makeup. Just try to be yourself. Just have your face be shining through without anything on it. It's very pretty when you don't have anything on it. And then, but that's not my place. So, do whatever God feels you're calling to do. And, you know, and just try maybe to be modest. Yeah, try to be modest. But, I'm not trying to be a teacher and giving you assignments. It's because this is, like I said, a Bible study. It's not to say, oh, you have to do this, you have to do that. It's something we're exploring together. But as for me, I do not wear makeup, and I try to dress modestly how I feel, which is, that's just for another day. But alright, thank you guys for joining. Let's say a prayer. Dear God, thank you for today, and thank you for letting Zeke join us. And please bless whoever watches this video, and please help us to do your will and be responsible with our responsibilities. And please bless whoever watches this video. In Jesus Christ, your Son's most holy name, we pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. Subject us not to final test, for that is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen. Alright, thank you guys. And if you haven't already, please click the subscribe, like, and add a comment. And if this is premiering and is live, I'd love it if you could leave a comment. Actually, I'll try to say that in the first part of the video, because that's kind of boring. So maybe if you got, I guess I do love the live chat and comments. So yeah, I guess I love comments, and so yeah. But if that's all too complicated, just it means a lot to me that you watched through to this video. Alright, and see you either in my next one of these, or my Bible writing, or whatever. Maybe if this was a one-time stop by, I'm glad you could be here to watch it, and maybe I gave you something to consider. Alright, thank you. Bye. Oh, and Zeke wants to say something. Zeke? Do you want to say goodbye? Do you want to say goodbye, Zeke? Do you want to say goodbye? Let's just give a minute to the bird. No? Okay, maybe you'll see him more in the Bible writing, I mean. Okay, that's giving me something to consider. Alright, thank you guys, and see you next time. Marietta and Z.